Ladies and gentlemen, babies and elephant, welcome to another new video. My name is Boss Lee, and I would like to share with you guys a new build today called Flicker Strike. So this Flicker Strike build is actually built around Saviour, and the other one-handed sword. And there's a few important gears that you need to take note on this build right here. So as you can see earlier in the showcase, the clear speed is actually insane. Like, first off, if you're looking for a build that clears everything fast and very good single target DPS and great mobility and you run around like a madman, then this is the right guy for you. You're looking at the right one, and I'm going to explain further about the build. So before I go any further, I just want to explain generally how the build is going. So the build actually builds around frenzy charges, so you need constant frenzy charge uptime on the build as well. And that's why Feral's Fur plays a very big role in the build, and also the Saviour. So this is like the ultimate goal that you want to get. These are the two main ingredients that you want in the build. Everything else here is not mandatory. You can switch around, but this is what I prefer personally. Now let's go about the Ascendancy. Now we're building this build around Raider because Raider has one of the best sustainability on frenzy charges. So let's go about the Ascendancy points now. So the Ascendancy points here, first off, you would like to start off going to Evasion, Frenzy Charge Duration, and then Way of the Poacher. The reason why is that this node actually gives you more chances of gaining Frenzy Charge on kill, and Frenzy Charge on hit, on rare or unique enemies, and it gives you additional maximum Frenzy Charge and attack speed. So this is a good start for you to try to start sustaining your Frenzy Charges as you build up your character. And then after that, you would like to go up from here and you get Avatar or Slaughter, which gives you more move speed, more attack speed, and more attack damage. So basically, the more frenzy charges you have, the more speed, attack speed, and damage you will get per frenzy charge. So that's how you build around the character. And this one gives you additional duration as well. After that, you want to move up this side, and this one gives you Rapid Assault, gives you Onslaught. So what does Onslaught do? Onslaught gives you more attack speed, more attack damage, everything faster as well, which is pretty similar to what frenzy charges provide. But on top of that, it gives you additional. So gains Onslaught for 10 seconds on kill. So it gives you a 10-second window for the Onslaught to be there when you kill an enemy, okay? Then after that, you want to move it lastly is Avatar of Chase. So this one gives you doubles your Onslaught effect, and also it gives you increased 30% damage when you are during Onslaught effect, and it gives you evasion on melee attack and projectiles attack. So basically it gives you a little bit of survivability on top of the damage boost for the Onslaught, right? So these are the Ascendancy points that I go for the Raider. Some people ask me that can I use Berserkers, can I use Slayers, can I use any other class? Yes, you can. You can build Flicker Strike around any class that you want. But I personally think that Raider is the most efficient one due to the fact that you can maintain your frenzy charges more easier, and also it gives you a lot more speed and damage. Some people can actually go, if you want, you can actually go for Berserker build. Berserker gives you much higher DPS, but the problem is Berserker's Ascendancy doesn't really have much sustainability on the frenzy charges. So you want to always constantly keep your frenzy charges up to the maximum all the time in order to fully unleash the potential of the build, right? So after explaining the Ascendancy, let's go about the gear choices. So the gear choices here is actually pretty simple, like I said. So the key ingredient to the build is actually going for the Saviour. Now the Saviour is actually very, very, very overpowered, I would say. The price of the Saviour is actually very cheap right now as well. Like, it's only 10 to 15 exalts-ish right now at the moment. And besides that, I don't think there's any other one-handed sword out there can replace this one in terms of clear speed, right? So not only just clear speed, single target damage as well. So in case you don't know, this sword, why is it so overpowered? Because it triggers the level 20 reflection when equipped. So what is the reflection? Basically, it creates a Mirage Warrior, an illusion of yourself that does 50% of your damage, but you can summon up to 2 Mirage Warriors. So that means it's almost doubles your damage. So the damage of the Mirage Warriors are based on your main hand. So whatever weapon that you use on your main hand, the damage, this Mirage Warriors will be based on that. Okay, that is the most overpowering thing about the Saviour. And the reason why we go for the Pharaoh's Fur, because this one gives you constant uptime on your frenzy charges and power charges. So this one gives you 3 power charges and however many frenzy charges you have, and you gain phasing as well. So I'm going to go through the budget beginning build first, because from the beginning, if you try to build a new character, let's say you're going for a new character and you want to try a Flicker Strike at the early stage of the game, it's not really that strong at the early stage, and also it's not that efficient. So during the early stage, I would say from level 1 to level 69 or level 59, you want to stick with Frostblade. So Frostblade is actually really good. It's a really good skill. It's a projectile based skill which you can melee build can actually equip. So I would say build around Frostblades first until you can actually equip a Pharaoh's Fur. And then from then on, you can switch to your Flicker Strike and so on and so forth, right? So I would say early game, you want to go for a Tabula, or if you can, go for any 6-link out there that gives you life and resist, which is anytime better than this. The problem is you can't equip this on level 1. Tabula, you can equip this on level 1 if you want. It's up to you. So Tabula is a choice. Early game, you want to go for Red Beak. This one gives you a decent amount of damage and life. And you can actually go for the Saber, the Princess Saber. This one you can equip on level 10, gives you decent amount of physical damage and attack speed, and also gives you additional physical damage as cold damage. So this build that I'm playing now, the Flicker Strike, is built around cold, so it's built around Hatred and Herald of Ice. Okay. And the gloves, you can actually go for Hymn Sorrow. So this one you can equip on level 16. So this one converts half of your damage to cold damage as well, and also gives you some resist and some cold damage and strength. So these are the few options that you can actually go for while you're leveling. Everything else, it's up to you. You can build you can have anything that gives you, as long as it gives you life and resist. Yeah, why not? So this is actually for you until you go up to 69, which you are able to equip the Pharaoh's Fur. Okay, now let's go through the gears I have now. So on the main hand, you want to have dual foil. So dual foil, you want to have, it's not mandatory that you have a high PDPS foil here. So it's up to you whether you want to have a high PDPS or a low PDPS, but it's up to you. So you can scale from whatever you have now and then you move up from there. Okay, so the gemlings, the gemlings I'll go about later, sorry. So the helm, I'm going for helm enchant of 9% Flicker Strike damage per frenzy charge. So this gives me a lot more Flicker Strike damage. Life, resist, and also cold resist reduction. So some people actually ask me whether should they go for helm enchant and use the cold resist reduction. I would say yes, because if you're building around Hatred and Herald of Ice, then this is definitely something that you want to have. In terms of amulet, so amulet, the anointment, I use Tribal Fury. So in case you don't know, Tribal Fury is not in the passive skill tree. So the Tribal Fury is actually a hidden anointment. So it's here. It gives you 12% increased melee damage, and strike skills targets one additional nearby enemy. So what does this mean? So when you Flicker Strike one enemy, it will Flicker Strike the other enemy close to it as well, and including all the other strike effects that you have. So it's actually very insane in terms of clear speed as well. So that's the reason why I go for Tribal Fury. If you don't want to go for Tribal Fury, it's up to you. You can go for anything else. I would suggest you can actually go for Blade Master, which is pretty good. Or you can go for what's this one? Assassination as well, if you're not reaching up there. It's entirely up to you, but I go for Tribal Fury. So this one gives me crit chance, crit multi, and gain additional physical damage as extra cold damage. In terms of rings, I have this is self-crafted. All of the gears here I crafted myself, except for the Saviour and the armor. So if you like to know more about the crafting and stuff, you can always hop on my Twitch and ask me questions about it, no problem, anytime. So the rings, this one is built on the diamond ring because I'm going full crit. So this one gives me crit chance, It gives me assassin marks on hit because I'm going crit based. So assassin marks works really well. As long as the enemy gets hit by crit damage, they will take additional damage. And 4 to 8 cold damage per frenzy charge because I'm running 8 frenzy charges at the moment. So this gives me a lot more DPS and also crafted cold damage to attacks. And the other ring I have, this one because I need more health, so I'm using on a Vermilion ring. This one gives me aspect of the cat skill, which goes well with the Feral's Fur, because the Feral's Fur, aspect of the cat reserves no mana. So that's why you need aspect of the cat over here on the ring, or you can use any other gear that gives you aspect of the cat. It can be in the belt, it can be on the amulet, it's up to you. Okay, so I use it on my ring and gives me a resist and gives me non-challenging skills have mana cost reduction, which helps me spam a bit more. Okay, the gloves, you can actually go, the gloves I'm having right now is actually the spike gloves that gives me melee damage, crafted on maximum frenzy charges, impale, and also conversion on my fizz damage to cold damage and some resist. The belt, I want more survivability, that's why I went for this one. I crafted myself. Life, increase max life and resist. And the boots, now this boots is also not mandatory because I'm built around crit base. So this one gives me elusive on crit strike and also tailwind on crit strike. So tailwind actually gives me a ton more speed on everything, like attack speed, move speed, everything. And also some strength intel and INT because to equip my gear and stuff. So these are the gears actually I'm using at the moment. And if you don't really want to go, like the build right now, this build here, it takes about, I would say about 100x exalts. But if you are on a budget and you can't really afford builds like this yet, no problem, don't worry about it. You can actually go for alternatives like Feral Spike. So Feral Spike, this one itself gives you the aspect of the cat skill as well, give you some resist and gives you more crit chance and more crit strike and more damage, which is cool. So this is actually a good alternative and this is not expensive. This is about, I would say, 5 to 10C, yeah. Or Stokonia. Stokonia's head, this one gives you a good ton of crit chance and also life and attack speed, which is really good. You can use either one of these. In terms of armor, I will always say before you get to your Pharaoh's Fur, maybe you can go for Belly of the Beast, just because of the resist and life, because you want more survivability. The gloves, you can actually go for Hrimburn. So Hrimburn is actually a really good choice, aside from using this. The only reason I'm using this is because I get additional frenzy charge. If I switch to this, I actually get more DPS. So this one is actually a really good choice because it gives you strength, it gives you resist, because you need strength to equip some of the gears here. Because this is a raider, so you don't have much strength, so you need some strength from your gears that you have. So this one gives you conversion, and also it ignites. When your cold damage deals damage, it ignites the enemy as well, which is really cool. It gives you a ton more damage as well. In terms of boots, this one, if you don't want to go for this one, the cheaper choice is going for a Dark Ray Vector. So this one, you go for, it gives you resist, it gives you move speed per frenzy charge. So if you have 8 frenzy charges, this will give you 40% move speed. And it gives you additional maximum frenzy charges as well, and dodge attack hits per 2% per frenzy charge as well. So this is actually really cool to have this in your build. In terms of rings, you can actually go for, if you don't have an assassin mark, you can actually go for elemental weakness as well, because this is built around cold. So elemental weakness works well as well. You can build anything around it, and elemental weakness rings is not even expensive. I think you can get one for like 20 to 30 chaos, or even 50 chaos, you can get a decent one. Or you can go for assassin mark, depending on your crit chance. If you crit most of the time, then yes, go for assassin mark. If you don't, go for elemental weakness. Also, you can go for taming. So taming is not really that cheap, but you know, it's decent to have because it gives you ally damage, and also it gives you more resist and chance to free shock and ignite enemy. So when you shock the enemy, they are more vulnerable to physical damage and damage as well, which is really cool. And you can also go for Mark of the Elder, because this one gives you more damage if your other ring is a Shaper item. So if your other ring is using Assassin Mark, which is a Shaper, then you can use this, which gives you a lot more damage on top of that, which is really sweet. And the choice you can actually use for Ichimonji. So this one has really cool attack speed and fizz damage, which is really decent. So this one is a good budget choice if you want. And also this is just an example of lower DPS foil that you can actually get. These ones you can actually get one for about 3 to 5 exalts instead of using the one I have now. So this one is really cool. So you can use this instead of this and with the Saviour. So these are the gear choices that you can actually go for. Now I want to explain through the skill tree. So the skill tree, you start with the Raider, you go over here, and your first node you want to get is Finesse. So this one gives you attack speed and some dexterity. And then after that, you might want to move all the way here first, okay? So this one will give you some life, some attack speed, and some damage, which helps you with your DPS. And then you can move up to get some life as well over here and some regeneration. Then you move down here. So when you move down here, you don't have to go for Winter Spirit first, because Winter Spirit only helps you when you have Hatred and Herald the Vice up. If you don't have them yet, skip this one and go down. You can come back to this later, okay? So skip this, go down, and you can go for Hone Edge. So this one, again, more damage and more attack speed. And then you move towards this side. You can actually go for this one if you want. But again, if you don't have Hatred or Herald Vice, you can skip this first and go upwards. It depends then like whether you need more life or do you need more damage. If you have enough life, you think that you're good at surviving, then you can skip this and go for Brutal Blade or Fatal Blade first. Generally gives you more damage and more attack speed, and then after that you can move this side and you get more life, and then you can move up, get more frenzy charges and more crit multi, and then you can move up this way, and then after that skip this one first because Forces of Nature again gives you more elemental resist. But if you're using Frost Blades, then all the elemental damage nodes, you can take them first. So it depends on what the early game skill that you're going to use, okay? And then move this side, you can get some fizz damage and some life. And then upwards, you're going to get Moose Meat and some fizz damage that it can give you Sleight of Hand. So this one gives you more attack speed and more damage. Will of Blades gives you more crit chance and fizz damage. So it depends, you can go this way first and then come down. And then after that, you want to go for Coordination. So this one gives you more dexterity and more intel, attack speed, and more life. And then you want to go up to Trickery, that gives you more crit, and this one gives you a little bit of intelligence. And then Assassination, crit multi and crit chance, and lastly Cold-Hearted Calculation, which gives you attack damage and some intelligence. So this one you don't have to go for this first, you can actually go for the nodes down here. So that the nodes down here is life, and Twin Terrors is really cool because this one gives you a lot more crit chance as well when you're dual wielding, okay? And then Fang of Frost, if you're going for Frost Blades and you already have Herald the Vice and Hatred, then yes. Penetrates cold resist and also chills the enemy and cold damage. You want to get life and mana leech as soon as you can as well, because this one will give you life leech and mana leech just in case you run out of mana or life. More frenzy charges, again life, and some jewel slots. I will go for it later on, like not so soon, because you don't really need the jewel slots until you can actually equip Pharaoh's Fur and all the other stuff that you need to wear. And then you can go for Dervish, which gives you more dual wield and weapon damage and attack speed. Art of the Gladiator, again attack speed and move. It ignores all the movement penalties from the armor if you have any. And then Bravery gives you more life, and Master of the Arena gives you more fizz damage and attack range and strength. So it depends on the build whether you need the elemental penetration early on or not. But if you do go for Frostblades, then yes, pick up all the elemental penetration as soon as you can. Life nodes, depending on whether you have good survivability or not, but I'm pretty sure that throughout your the content of the game, like before you reach the mapping aspect of the game, you don't really need that much health to begin with, so you can actually go for as much DPS as you can to clear as fast as you can, so that you can go and equip your Pharaoh's Fur and your Saviour. So that's pretty much the passive tree, skill tree explanation, and I pretty much covered everything. Flask choices, you go for Life Flask, instant recovery and removes bleeding. Bottled Faith easily can be replaced. This is just not mandatory at all. You can either go for Aziri's Promise, which gives you additional DPS damage, or you can go for Wise Oak, which gives you elemental penetration as well. Cinder Swallow, I think, is really important in the build, just because it gives you more survivability in terms of leeching, regeneration of life and mana, and also it gives, if you get the right craft enchant mod on it, you can get crit chance as well during fast effect. Diamond Flask, of course, without a doubt, is one of the best in terms of getting crit chance. And also lastly, Lion's Roar, which gives you more armor and also gives you a ton more DPS as well. So these are the flask choices that you can have, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. So in conclusion, the build, it's really fun to play with. It's really good clear speed, even on delving. Like when you delve, your Mirage Warriors, which is your illusions, they will clear up everything in front of you before even reaching there. So the clear speed is actually really good even for delving. Okay, really decent single target damage as well. The only cons I see about the build is this thing. Now, firstly, in my opinion, the bad experience I have about the build is sometimes it desyncs. So what I mean by desync, so let's just say, because I don't have a really good computer, so sometimes the skill moves faster than what my computer can render or can actually show to me. So sometimes I get pulled back and I get rubber band backwards again, and I have to go forward again. So it's kind of annoying at sometimes, but that isn't the big issue. But you still can get by if you don't really mind that. Okay. The second issue is when you go for tier 16 maps or any high tier maps, sometimes you tend to get one hit by any boss. The metamorph, especially the meta boss, you can tend to get one hit, but I'm pretty sure most of the builds out there can get one hit by the meta boss anyway, because all the tier 15 and 16 bosses are all pretty insane. It's all content viable. You can kill anything, Cyrus, Shaper, Elder, everything is no problem. Depends on how you scale the build. And in conclusion, it's a really fun build to play with. I hope you guys enjoyed this build guide for the Flicker Strike. If you have no other builds that you want to try and you want to try something new and this is really flashy and it's jumping around like a ninja, then this is the right build for you. Go and give it a try. If you have more questions about the build, feel free to drop by my Twitch channel. I stream every day, GMT +8, Asian time, 9 p.m. daily for about until like 2 a.m. daily. Do drop by, or you can join our Discord channel as well. Feel free to ask any questions. Everyone will be more than happy to answer you. I'll always be there to give you any answers that you need if you have any questions about the build, okay? I would like to thank you so much for taking your time looking at the build, and I really hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and looking forward to creating more build guides for you guys to enjoy. So thank you very much. I'll see you guys.